I'm Marco Piva, architect and designer. I mainly work in Milan, but over time, we've extended the practice worldwide. Meeting Sicis was a momentous moment, I'd say. We focused mainly on mosaics, and I supervised the creation and development of this new product called Vetrite. Vetrite attracted me right from the word go, because it combines important technological features with all the qualities of tomorrow's mosaic decoration. Yes, there's continuity in the development from a heritage perspective, with a view to obtaining something that has key features for contemporary architecture and interior design. This process is typical of Italian creativity. Vetrite, at first glance, seems quite obvious as a material because it's made up of glass slabs, which, however, add certain features and certain special values to what might seem obvious. First of all, it's possible to work with large sizes. Secondly, it can be finished according to the needs of the project. And last but not least, it offers a blank canvas that can be decorated, perhaps using modern graphics, or an abstract concept that's linked to colors, texture, and patterns. The creation of Vetrite made it possible to attain one of our goals, using this material to decorate architecture. I've always thought of architecture not just as a framework, as containers, volumes, but also as interiors. So I think, like many others working in architecture, that continuity exists between exterior and interior architecture. So a language linking the two project dimensions. Vetrite is a strong candidate for interpreting these needs for decorating building facades and covering building interiors. So, Vetrite has been developed not just with the idea of producing decorative panels offered by the company, but as decoration that a specific architect or designer may request, becoming a system for dressing buildings. And for this reason, it needs to embrace concepts that are part of contemporary architecture, such as curtain walls, facades that combine different materials, stone, marble, vitrified stoneware with glass, and where glass with Vetrite is no longer just an external facing offering performance linked to temperature, energy use, solar impact, and so on, but becomes a further factor contributing to interpreting the poetics of design. This was the direction we took in developing the next step with Sicis. Now, Vetrite is offered as a system of modular, different size panels that can be adapted to project needs. The options are almost unlimited. They can be placed in any geographical context because Vetrite helps solve, thanks to its modularity and stratification, what other glass typically used in contemporary facades, ventilated and screen facade systems, and so on, does. In addition, Vetrite has this feature of creating light effects, with natural light and with artificial light as well. Why? Because it has been designed in such a way that light filters through the finishes I mentioned before, through the textures, and now through the patterns we've created. We've prepared a sort of palette that architects and interior designers can use to make sure that these facades, these surfaces, very often to a certain extent monotonous, are able to interact, as I said, with natural light, filtering it, dosing it, creating gradients where glass is more or less clear, sensing textures in the transparencies, and thus ensuring that this building that has been designed from the outside is able to be seen not as a banal, continuous glass surface, but it vibrates, offering a somewhat geometric texture that fuses with the urban surroundings. It can be also interpreted from the inside as a scenario that filters the vision of the outside, and so interiors are enriched by this penetration of light during the day, but depending on the season, the effect can vary considerably. This is a complex operation because it combines different technical requirements for creating the product. Therefore, I believe Vetrite, with these new patterns, is a unique product on the global scene today that can bring additional value to the architectural project. We have offered a series of graphic solutions, as we imagined the outside of buildings can be dressed with rhythms, with vibrations, more or less intense, which, however, are still able to keep the project on the architectural scale. Inside, it's possible to develop these somewhat essential, more or less structured decorations on a smaller scale, and so they can be experienced up close by those who inhabit and interact with the environments filtered through these Vetrite panels. The collection is very rich. We designed it old style, by hand, because I really like to start from a sketched idea, from a drawing, especially the pattern part, which was drawn by hand and then reworked using the computer, then redrawn again. For this reason, there are some interesting steps starting from simple sketches to photographs that were interpreted, even some watercolor and tempera workings that recall, and I love this technique, Rorschach ink blots. The ink blots that were once made using ink on a sheet of paper that was then folded several times in a sort of multiplication process, revealing an infinite matrix. So we think that with Vetrite for architecture, we've created a product with excellent performance that can be incorporated into any architectural approach, and which is available to fellow architects who can use it within their projects around the world, exploiting its full potential. Above all, we've created a new level of poetics for glass by using patterns that form a bond with architecture, interior design, and that can give outstanding results both from a visual perspective, from a functional one, but also primarily in terms of emotional stimuli.